Hi everyone. Hope you're all doing very well. Today I will talk about something that I was reading some time back. It was called How to Work with Me Manual by Julie Zhu, one of Silicon Valley's top product designer executive. I could immediately resonate with her, and I will share a personal experience today. When I was working as a manager in one of my erstwhile companies, they ran a wide scale, anonymous satisfaction survey scores every year, and pretty much every single employee took part in it. And as managers, we took it very seriously, and it was part of our overall performance management, and a lot of it depend on how we performed in this. And like a lot of things in India, the bar was very high when it came down. We had to hit 85% plus or 90% scores, and so it was a very interesting and an exciting time, like your examination results being published. So, in one year, there was a specific section in the beginning of my journey there. One section, came out for me was that I had not performed really well in it, and the question was, do you think your manager cares about you as a person? My scores were quite low, though I had scored high on all other parameters. Like does your manager create a trusting and open environment? Does your manager treat everyone on the team fairly? Is your manager responsive to your ideas, requests, and suggestions, and so on and so forth? But on the overall, I had done really well. But it stuck with me that when that question, I wish I did not do well. I realized that somehow I was treating them as a human resource and not as a person. This was hard to process because I cared about them. I cared about their careers, and their progression. I took pride in thinking of different ways to help my direct reports grow and thrive within the company. I gave them challenging programs and projects and frequently took feedback because I wanted to see them succeed. And if there were ways in which I could help them by hiring for them or advocating for the issues on their behalf or pitching in on a tough situation or in a tough project, I always showed up. So it was difficult for me to ask how could they think I don't care as I evaluated what went wrong. I realized that I had treated them as I would want to be treated and not really as they wanted to be treated. I realized that different folks need different strokes. Everyone is wired differently, and even with the best of intention, I struggle to understand them. I realized that every manager and their direct reports have their own preferences of how they operate and how they want to be treated. Even if you're good, you're experienced, and even if you show up on work every day with confidence, you will still fail to connect with others from time to time. Some of this is because of the cultural differences, or sometimes contrasting personality types, or because we have different perspectives and different life experiences. But the more I understood about what mattered to my reports, to my direct reports, the better I think I became as a manager. Similarly, my direct reports and my team understood about how I worked. And a few misunderstanding happened as over the years when we worked with each other. I started researching and trying to use psychometric tools like MBTI to solve for some of this at an early stage. Today I set expectations with my teams and my directs and have conversations with them on how I operate. So it becomes easy for them to know me better. And similarly, I take time out to understand how they like to operate. One example is that I am a very spontaneous person. I like to walk over to people, I like people to walk over, have a conversation, so that I can solve their problems and discuss issues. I'm also someone who like to speak and then think. One of my directs in that company was, however, a very structured person. So he liked to slot everything on the calendar, have structured meetings. He was someone who had to think through things before speaking. So we were actually on the opposite end of the spectrum. But then as we continued to have conversations and I started having conversation about my operating style, and then we understood each other better. And then when it came down to where he understood where I came from and what I wanted to do, and so we agreed to find a middle ground which comforted him and allowed me to still be myself. But for that to happen, you really need to introspect and understand yourself really well. It took me time. And you also need to feel comfortable in sharing your strengths and weaknesses and what makes you tick and what you prefer others around you to do and what helps you to perform at your peak. Every single person's management journeys are different and deeply personal. And I believe that great managers are made, not born. It doesn't matter who you are. If you care enough to, sit down and listen to this video, then you care enough to be a good boss. So introspecting and using psychometric tools available will help you to connect better with your reports. So you can be the best boss to them that you can be. Thank you for taking the time out and watching this video. Do leave your feedback and commentary and have a fantastic day ahead.